Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with another Ask Me Anything with the Reddit. We got today. We have Michael from the DonnyBrook company. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm great. So you are like one of those old school guys that's been on the Reddit for a long time. I know you're not the biggest fan of Reddit. Like it can be like a kind of a pain in the ass to like to run, and if like if you're new to it. I like it, but yeah. So you got started doing those cool like portraits, the old timey photos, and that's like when you and I really started talking. So how did that come about?
Yeah. Well, I'm big on like connections to the past and like tradition of things and like how things come about. So like I was really interested in the connection between modern paranormal and paranormal from the past, and I really always loved that style from back then, those posters and stuff. And BKFC wasn't doing it, which I actually think is pretty smart of them to not bother trying to connect to that. But I wanted to see it. I wanted to do it, so I just did it myself, and it just kind of took off from there. So
You talk about BKFC not wanting to do it, and I get that, but it is insane how much the fighters love it. Like every fighter that I know that sees their thing, they love it.
Yeah, I've nothing but positive response from fighters so far. They've all been amazing to me. All this like as long as I've been doing it. The first bit of BKFC art that I did that had a fighter, and it was I recreated the Tay Starling from the fight with Segala.
Yeah.
And she's in the ring and she's all beat up and she sticks out her tongue at the camera and stuff. So I drew that, and that started everything. And the response even from that was great from her.
So you're just one of those guys that's always like been into art. Like, do you have a career in art? Like, what? Like, are you just like to draw on the side?
I mean, I never really made money on it, so it's not. I wouldn't call it a career. It's just what I do. Like I can't not do it. Whether I'm making money on it or just doing it because it's in my head. I got to get it out.
Sure.
So I've done writing, drawing, physical drawing, digital computer stuff. Basically, whatever I whatever I really want to try and do.
What medium do you like? I mean, do you like to actually draw, or do you like to do stuff on the digital? Are you more into the digital content creation now, or?
Well, it's pretty much all I do now. But I do like there's something so different about an actual pencil on paper, or I don't paint, but I'm sure painting is the same thing. Like there's no direct there's no like digital version of drawing that has anything to do with real drawing.
Yeah.
The sensation, like it's tactile when you draw. Like you feel the paper, you have the thing. If you use charcoal or whatever, like all that stuff, like it's all like I said, it's real, and digital is just like it's cool. It's amazing what you can do. Like I do stuff digitally that I would never be able to do by hand. But it doesn't feel the same.
Sure.
Like it's totally different feeling.
Okay, so you're not a young guy. I mean, you're not an ancient dinosaur, but you're certainly not a young guy. What was it like learning, going from paper and pen to digital? Did you train yourself? Did you take art classes? Like, how did you go about that?
No, I'm self-taught with pretty much everything. Any art stuff, computers, websites, any of that stuff. I took advantage of opportunities at jobs to pick people's brains and to get involved with stuff that I didn't necessarily know how to do. And that I've learned a lot that way. But yeah, no, I self-taught. The transition it just kind of happened because I got my hands on for some reason like where I work now, which I'm about to hit the 21st year there.
Wow.
Yeah. For some reason had a Photoshop disk for Photoshop.
Okay.
So I put it on the work computer. I put it on my home computer, and I just started playing with it. And then it just kind of took off from there. I started doing graphics for like before they were called podcasts. There was I didn't really know what to call it. We were on blogtalkradio.com.
Okay.
Familiar with that?
I'm not.
Okay, well they allowed you to still do. They allow you to do basically a radio broadcast over the internet. It's a
Okay.
live show. You have a switchboard. People call and listen in real time and all that stuff. So I was involved with a couple of those shows. I started doing graphics for that, and it went from there. I've worked for a soccer team. I volunteered for Boston Poetry Slam, although that was really more just about. I didn't really do a lot of graphic work for that. But yeah, I kind of just insert myself into whatever I can that is going on that I'm interested in.
Okay, so we always ask, like, how did you find out about BKFC? Like, what got you to be a fan? Like, do you remember where it started for you?
I do. I remember exactly. It was December of 21.
Okay.
I think 21. Yeah. And I was in the exile bedroom because I put on some weight and I snore when I'm heavier.
Oh,
Like the heavier I am, the more I snore. And my wife's a really light sleeper, so I was in the
okay.
exile room,
The
and
exile
I
room.
was yeah, I was watching the channel Stadium. It's
Okay.
a sports channel, like broadcast sports channel, because there's no like cable in that room or anything. It's just the antenna. So I'm watching it, and all of a sudden BKFC came on, and I'm looking and I'm watching. I'm like, are they not wearing gloves? And like I heard it, you know what I mean? Like you hear the punches and stuff, and I just like
Yeah.
instantly fell in love. Like I was like, I watched that show. There was another one on after it I watched. Um, it wasn't on during the week. I had to wait till the whole next weekend to like see it again because like I couldn't quite remember what it was called or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
um, and yeah, the next week I waited and I kept checking that to see when it was coming on. And I watched it again. I was like, okay, I'm getting the app, and I got the app, and that was it. I've watched every event at least twice.
Were you like a UFC guy before that, or boxing, or like it just kind of out of the
No,
blue?
no. I mean, like, I love the like violent aspect of sports,
Sure.
hockey, football, stuff like that. But I wasn't into combat sports after, well, really once like Tyson hit the scene,
Hmm.
um, and then shortly, you remember a few years after that was when the pay-per-views really started as a thing.
Yeah.
Like they used to be on. It would be like you could get Showtime or HBO had boxing. Like if there was a big fight on, you just one of the channels for a couple of days and then cancel it, right?
Right.
Um, but once they went to pay per view, I couldn't afford to watch. So I just stopped fucking watching, you know. And it wasn't until I saw BKFC that anything pulled me back in.
It is insane. Like I remember watching the UFC like when it first came out, like, and I would watch, and it was $50, and I was like, what? And it's like up to $90 now, I think, for like the UFCs and stuff. Like it's just insane what
Yeah,
they're trying to
it,
get away with charging
it
people now. So
yeah, it is. It is. And with the UFC, like they're on, you have to have ESPN Plus, so you're paying for the platform and then
right.
paying for those specific shows, um, which is insane to me. I don't know. I guess there's really nothing you can do about it. But that was that's been one of the great things about BKFC is that the app is cheap. You got a discount if you order it for the year instead of month by month, and
Hmm.
you got access to all their shows. Like that's all I did after I got the app for months. All I did when I had free time, or even when it wasn't to have free time, I'd do it at work too. I would just have the app playing different events. They used to have a feature on the app, a continue watching thing.
Okay.
And that's actually the only reason I do it. And I'm really aggravated still that they don't have it. They took it away and they never put it back.
A lot of guys were talking about they wish that they would have like a shuffle on there, so just like shuffle all their fights. You'd be watching, like I don't
Oh,
know,
that would be
Lobov.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, like just a different fight, like and it would always be like shuffling it. That'd be kind of cool. You could have it like on at your
Yeah.
barbershop, like Swervo and those guys. They have a
Right.
barbershop, so I think that'd be a
Hmm.
cool feature.
Yeah. No, that would be cool. Yeah, because I would watch, until I was ready to go to bed. Then I would, which I know would be like, I'd watch an event and a half or whatever. And then the next time I opened the app, I could go right back to the same spot and keep watching that event. That's like really the only reason I went through them all was because it was easy for me. If I had to like try to remember which event I was watching and how far in I was, I never would have done it. I never would have bothered.
Sure. The
I'm
one
lazy
thing I
that
would
way.
like to see, the one thing I'd like to see with the app is, like when you watch a football game the day after and they cut out all the bullshit, and it's just like it's
Yeah, yeah.
literally play after play. I would love if they would do that and like just cut out like all the interviews and like all the in between rounds and just run it like that. I mean, I think that would be awesome. Like just that way you can kind of run it, especially if you pay for the app. Like down the line. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah, you know what? It probably would get more views than the regular full event would, because I definitely fast forward through if I'm watching something. Yeah. No, that would be good. The condensed version.
Yeah.
With all the fights. Because when I first watched BKFC, it's a condensed show, but they only have like 4 of the fights.
Okay, yeah. So it's funny. Like I had a buddy the other day, and he was like, dude, I'm watching BKFC on Samsung. I guess BKFC is like on a channel on the Samsung TV, and like it's just got a whole bunch of fights. So like it's crazy how they're just everywhere, and everybody's noticing it more and more. So
yeah, it's the growth has been phenomenal. Like and with there's certain things obviously you're not going to agree with everything everybody does, but they've done it the right way. It seems like, which is good. So yeah, it's been incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah.
Okay, so the DonnyBrook company, like where'd that come from? Like what all do you do? Like I know you're like hugely involved with a bunch of fighters, so take us through that.
Yeah, well, we do fighter gear, fighter merchandise, not gear. So like t-shirts, I design t-shirts for the fighters, and we do like I have some other stuff that's not fighter related, but is bare knuckle related. And
Oh, I can't hear you. I'm not sure. Like, yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know if your mic got mic'd. Oh, are you there? Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a phone call.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. All right. Sorry, will you take us through it again real quick?
What's that? Sorry.
Will you start at the beginning again? Like I said, I couldn't hear when I asked you.
So we do fighter merchandise. I design shirt designs and stuff for them. And we have our own line of mostly bare knuckle related gear. There's some other stuff too. But yeah, so what I like to do is like basically when we get a new fighter, I immediately do 1 or 2 shirts for them, and then once they're like in, once that's all set up, then I start doing like videos for them, and if they have a fight coming up, I try to do a bunch of stuff for videos or posts, just anything for them to spread the word and get some attention on it.
So, I mean, I know you work with quite a few, but like, can you name a couple of them? And no one get upset if he doesn't list you in this.
Well, the list is it's grown quite a bit since we started, but we got fighters from all over the world actually. It's easiest for me to go in the order that we signed, that we started working with them. So we got David Round over in the UK.
Sure.
He's a great guy. I'll go ahead and say it. His shirt is the best selling one so far. This Nadine Mandiao from BYB.
Okay.
From BYB, she's about to have a baby, so hopefully she'll come back soon. Let's see, and then we got a bunch all at once. I got the bare knuckle couple, Liam Wilson and Matilda Wilson.
Sure.
Over in Europe. Christine Vicens, Melanie Shaw. Let's see. Now I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure I actually
put you on the spot.
Everybody. Yeah.
So did you reach out to these people, or did they reach out to you when they saw the graphics and all that? Like, how did it come about?
Both things have happened. First, I did the reaching out, and then I put out a video just kind of explained like our how we do it. Like I don't charge the fighters or anything. Like if it were up to me, I wouldn't make any money from the fighters. Like I don't.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because like when you hear about the costs and the lack of sponsorships and the lack of and I mean, BKFC is pretty good, but they don't actually make a lot of money. Like your interview with Todd Duffy, he explained
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So like, and like to me, the parallel it's there. It's exactly like being a working artist. Um, you don't make a lot for what you do, but you love it enough that you have to do it. It's what you do. Um,
Sure.
and I respect the hell out of that. I always have. No matter what the thing with athletics, the arts, other kind of sports, whatever. Um, so yeah, so I mean, like ideally, I wouldn't make any money off the fighters, and it would just be selling merchandise. So I don't charge them for anything. I give them big discounts if they need to buy some stuff. Um, so yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so how we operate? Like I said, we don't charge them for. I don't charge them for the design. I don't make them buy anything, and we split the money. You know, and I try to do like my artistic best for them. You know,
Sure.
So that's the way I contribute. So that's what I try to do.
Are you looking for more fighters, or are you kind of like tapped out right now? You got like enough on your plate, or?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of always looking for more. But I actually do have kind of a lot on my plate at the moment.
Sure.
It's like my wife's going through some health stuff, and I've been doing more like around the house and stuff. So it's trying to find the time to do everything has been pretty hard. Like I fall asleep at the computer doing stuff all the time. Yeah, it's like I do want more. It's probably getting to the point where I'm I'm starting to get stretched a little thin, but I do have actually a couple of other designers that are like I guess contractors technically with
Okay.
us. So one of them is very busy. He's you might know of him, Dorian Redden. He uh he does Noah Cutter. He's just done stuff for Noah Cutter.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, yeah. But he's like with the Indoor Football League or whatever they call it. He works for them now. So, but we got a tattoo artist, George Pryor. He's a great artist. He's hopefully we'll be able to like have him do a little more stuff too. So stuff like that's gonna like allow me to hopefully bring in another fighter or two at least.
Is it one of those things you'd like to add some more graphic art? Maybe there's a guy out there that's watching right now that's like, oh my gosh, I love to draw, and I would love to team up with you and kind of go the same route. Like you'd be open to having more artists like reach out to you and kind of do the same, like join the DonnyBrook company and kind of help with that, or are you kind of tapped out on like artists too at the same time?
Well, I brought those guys in because I know them. Like I got to know them through doing the bare knuckle stuff, the posters and everything. So like that's I don't like I'm not the most like socially adept person. So like getting cold calls from strangers is kind of like
Sure.
But like I blocked somebody today because they asked me if I needed anything through their page, then sent me a friend request, which I reluctantly accepted, and they sent me the exact same fucking message. And I was like, oh, bye,
Yeah.
block. So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna say, yeah, everybody give me a call, but also like if I do love collaborating artistically, so like I can't like there's something inside me that's not gonna let me say no to that entirely.
Sure. Okay, so you're open to it, but be friendly. I mean, you have a look to you that's like, I know you're from the Northeast, so you got that like look that's like, don't talk to me. It's so funny. So I was at the doctor. Yeah, I was at the doctor yesterday with my wife, and she went in the back, and I'm sitting down, and the room is empty, and this guy come over and he sat right beside me and started talking to me.
No.
And I'm from Colorado. Yeah, I'm from Colorado. And this guy's like, oh, how you doing? And he's, of course, from Wisconsin. We're up here. And he just starts talking. I'm wearing a camo shirt. And he goes, oh, you must like hunting, huh? And then he just would not stop talking to me. And he was a nice enough guy. And like, but I look at you and I go like, I probably wouldn't talk to you if I was in the doctor's office and said you.
Yeah, that's funny. I had somebody at work who was like, kind of intimidating. I'm like, what? Like it doesn't like that's not like I'm a little gruff, but like everybody here is a little gruff. Like it's nothing.
Sure.
So like I'm always amused when people say stuff like that. Like that doesn't feel right. Although it's like at the same time too, it's like when I look back at like how I've reacted to certain situations and people, I've been like, you know what, maybe they shouldn't.
Okay, so we ask everybody if they remember their first street fight. Well, I say we ask everybody. We ask the majority of people. Do you remember?
Mhm.
Have you ever been in a street fight? Do you remember the first time you punched somebody in anger?
Uh,
Like in
it
school
was
or?
yeah, it was school. It was a long, long time ago. Yeah, no, I actually had very bad anger issues when I was a kid. So like there were several times I just got up from my desk and smacked somebody. Um, but actually, like my third grade teacher, after one of those incidents, just like stuck her finger in my face and was like, "You have a lot of anger issues for a young boy." And like I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, oh, she might be right. So I kind of worked on
So you worked on it. Like, do you feel like you like? I used to be like let's fight guy when I was younger, like especially in high school and wrestling and
it.
all that
Hmm.
shit. And now I'm at the point now, like I see so many people road raging, and I couldn't give a fuck less. Like
Right.
if you're that determined to cut me off, like whatever, dude, I don't care. But yeah, I went from like let's fight guy, and I don't know if it was when I had my kids and suddenly I was like,
Mm.
oh, I'm gonna get killed like in a fight or something, like someone will shoot me, because it's not like you fist fight anybody anymore. Everybody's got a weapon and stuff. So
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I just what helped you get rid of that anger?
Um. Well, I mean, I was pretty young. Like I was a kid, so it was like I really just like um basically just like repressed it for a little while, and then as I got a little bit older, learned that doesn't really work, and like it's still there. If you don't deal with it, it really does eat at you uh,
Sure.
from the inside. So like I started learning that, and that made it like genuinely dealing with being able to not react angrily to stuff. Um, and that was in like my teens.
Were you able to like channel that and put it into the drawing and stuff, or like what was your release that you were able to finally get rid of that anger and put it towards something positive?
Um, I'm honestly starting to smoke weed had a big effect because it seriously just like I hadn't been that like okay, so like I hit high school and I started smoking weed a little bit, but that was just like more recreational. A few years later, um, when I started working full time,
Mm-hmm.
I, 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 I had like a toothache and coworker gave me a joint, and like I hadn't been that relaxed so many
Okay.
years that I was like, okay, I'm gonna do more of this, and it very much helped me like just not because my starting point was suddenly lower. You
Okay.
know what I mean? And I was able to maintain that even if I wasn't smoking. Like I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay. Like I understood how to be relaxed and how to be calm. Um,
Okay.
because I was so tense and just like a lot of fucked up shit was going on when I was a teenager. My mother was drinking, going through a lot of stuff. So, I was really fucking angry, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, luckily at that point, I was able to avoid like medicating like with pills. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Certainly. Cool. All right. Well, we look forward to talking to you again. I appreciate all the help you've been on the Reddit, like you like posting stuff and answering questions, and like you sent me some goodies the other day. Like fantastic. I appreciate all those little posters you sent. That's awesome. I appreciate it so much. So
yeah, I'm glad, man. You've actually you've done a lot for me too. You from as soon as I put stuff out there, you've been great to me for me. Like you're an awesome dude. I appreciate it. I
thanks so
know
much.
running something like the Reddit is a lot of fucking work.
Yeah.
It really is. People don't understand how much work shit like that is. They don't understand how much work doing a podcast is. There's all kinds of things that go into stuff like that, and I appreciate that you make that effort.
Thanks. Well, the only thing I will say is like all the technical stuff. I got the dude over in Minnesota, like that strong boy guy, like
Hmm.
Dakota. he does all that, and it's so funny because he'll be like, "Hey, I'm at work. Can you do this?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'm a Gator wrestler. I don't know how to do all this technical shit." So like, I will half-ass it, and he's like, "Good enough," But like, yeah. So he does all the technical stuff and like talking to people like that. That's what I'm good at. But yeah, so I appreciate it. No, and thanks so much for the compliment. You're a wonderful guy.
Thanks.
All right. Well, we look forward to having you again. If people want to follow you, would you say I'll go ahead and tag the link to your DonnyBrook company? Like, is that the best spot, or do you have a Facebook for the DonnyBrook thing too? Or
Yeah. We're on most of the platforms. It unfortunately they're not the same name on every platform, but if you on whatever one you want, if you search the DonnyBrook company, will come up.
Great. All right, we'll look forward to. I know a guy that I think would be helpful for you, and I know him, and he's the dude who created our logo, and he's a retired tattoo artist, and he does all the design stuff, and I know he does a lot of stuff for fighters too. So I'll put you in contact with him, and like hopefully that'll work out. And like I said, we'll talk in the future again.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thanks
Thanks
sir.
for having me, man.